articulating too much because I want to redo something, to redo new CDs and just put a better product out there at some point in the near future.
Let's talk about your travels. Where have you traveled as a concert pianist? Where are some places around the world that you have performed?
In Asia mostly. I mean, I did there. I went 3 or 4 times in 4 or 5 different countries: Philippines, Malaysia, Japan, Singapore, Korea. Had a good time there. A lot of concertizing, giving a couple of conferences, and teaching, either privately or in master classes. And I really enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun. Nice to meet new people, different cultures, and I stayed in Asia for 3 months at a certain point and really enjoyed it. It's good. Right now I'm happy to be playing in Montreal. I just don't feel like traveling much. I enjoy playing for friends and doing concerts in my hometown, having people to go out with afterwards, and I am planning on traveling again, maybe next year, maybe something in Europe at some point, but right now it's a bit of a quiet time for me. I need to reflect. I enjoy playing fewer concerts, playing for friends, coaches, people who help improve my playing. And right now I'm in a phase where I only feel like I only do concerts when I feel like it, and hopefully put out the best possible performance, as opposed to doing a dozen different concerts in a month, whatever. That time may come, but right now I'm just happy doing what I'm doing.
Let's focus now on your career as a concert pianist. We got a few questions before we finish up the show. Number 1, what are some of the sacrifices that you've had to make and some of the obstacles you've had to overcome to be a concert pianist?
Well, I'd say not all concert pianists, but quite a few of them find managing, say, relationships difficult. It can be if you travel a lot, and though it's not the case right now for me, still, the intensity that is required to do this work, to be in this business, can be difficult for a woman to deal with, especially if the woman is at a point in her life where she wants to start a family, whatever. I'm, personally not there, so that can be that could be a challenge for me or other pianists that I know.
Would you say it's a very lonely life?
Yeah, it's a lonely life for sure. You practice at home all the time alone. If you teach the way I do, you see your students and their parents, and that's about it. That's why you have to balance it out, and I balance it out by having a large social circle. I also organize private concerts, or I organize receptions and parties after my concerts, whatever, or just parties. Once every couple of months, and I organize concerts where I play with friends and for friends. These are not public events. They're not published in the papers. It's just by invitation only. And that's a way of connecting with people, creating situations where people can make music with no pressure, just for the fun of it, and play with other people and meet other people. And that's how you balance it out and make it a little bit less lonely.
Let's talk about the pleasures. What would you say is the most pleasurable element, the most pleasurable thing about being a concert pianist?
Well, when you're sitting down, you're playing some of the most difficult works ever written, and you're finally starting to play them the way you've always heard them in your head. And it sounds good when you're playing it, and then you've taped it, and you listen to the tape, and you say, wow, I really like that. If I were somebody else listening to it, I would be very impressed. It doesn't happen very often for us because we're all critical of our playing, and I don't know, it's not a common thing that we can say, wow, we're always criticizing what we do. And then on top of it, a colleague will come up and say, that was absolutely fantastic, somebody who knows the piece as intimately as you do. That's probably one of the... Add to that, the audience, if they're enraptured and you've really touched them and moved them, and a woman comes up to you and says, I was in tears when you played that particular piece. And those are all the things that make this life a little less difficult, I would say. And you say, well, in life you can't do everything. You certainly can't do everything at the same time. You try to do as much of all the things you want to do as possible. But if you haven't done all the other things, but you've got at least that one thing, you've played that one piece as well as you always wanted to, and you've had people you respect enjoy it and tell you that, yeah, you did succeed, then you feel you've left something behind, a legacy of some sorts, and you take that with you to bed at night when you go to sleep. And it makes you want to wake up and get up out of bed and continue getting through the day.
We have time for one more question. If you could go back in time, visit your younger self, what advice would you give?
Be careful who you trust.
That's a big one.
Yep. And it's a lesson that, sadly, we learn the hard way.
In what context? Give us some context.
If you walk through life with a desire to be very friendly and to approach people as friends, you can also make the mistake of giving them that label, that title, far sooner than you should, and giving it to people who don't deserve it. So that's what I would say.
Tristan, it's been absolutely wonderful having you here on Frank Talks for this very intimate discussion.
Thanks a lot. That's great.
It's really been great having you here, and we hope that you'll come back for another Frank Talks in the future.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. Ladies, do you want the man in your life to understand you on your level? Do you want your man to be able to listen to and address all of your emotional needs? Show him how much you really want your relationship to be the best it can be. Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test makes a perfect gift. The book, written by a man, for men, is endorsed by every woman that reads it. This book is a guide for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.